Hello guys, these are the notes for section 4.4 where we're just going to be adding one step to something you've already gotten quite good at. So before we expand on it, I want to go look at this page here that we put in our notes on Monday. If you're missing these 4.4 notes because you were gone on Monday, we copied and pasted them in out of the Schoology folder. So you'll find them in there. You can just come up and ask me if you need help with that. So I want to look at this thing that we've got here. We have right now 4 perfectly good ways of showing that two triangles are congruent. We have our side, 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 angle, 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 side. And we've been working with those well, and we're getting really good even at writing those proofs that end in one of these 4. We know that we don't choose angle, 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 and we don't try to go for side, side, angle either. We haven't learned hypotenuse leg yet, so that's not anything you need to concern yourself about. You need to be really comfortable working with these guys. So let's step forward in our notes and go down here to this number 2, where it says, is there enough information to prove that these are congruent by angle, angle, not included side? And we said, yeah, it's all marked. This is the one where I'd say, well, Merry Christmas or sweet, because I don't even have to work for it. But now we can actually even take it a step further. Because if the triangles are congruent because of these 3 matching parts, it means one can be placed exactly on top of the other. They are exactly the same size and shape. Not just the 3 parts marked, but all the missing parts. And that's what we're going to be saying today is, you know what? Once these triangles are the same, these 2 short legs, they're the same too. And this obtuse angle up here and this one down here, they're the same too. And we have a name for it that we're going to be calling it. But before we do, I just want to revisit this proof right here that we wrote. You'll notice in the proof it said to prove that 2 triangles were congruent. So we added our brain and digested our given, and we were able to get angle, angle, side. You might look up at this one and say angle, side, angle. That's because these little 2 blue dashes are just on the wrong pieces. They should be right here and right here, and it's an angle, angle, side. But that's besides the point. The thing I wanted to show you is this plan we wrote over here, because we're still going to have a plan. You're going to be writing your plan on your worksheet. I cut the worksheet in half in terms of how many proofs you have to write, but I'm making you write a plan for them. So it's going to take about the same amount of time. A well thought out plan leads to success in writing proofs. You'll notice right here as to prove the triangle's congruent, so I knew I had to end in one of our 4. We still need to do that today. But today we're going to be showing that parts of triangles are congruent using what's called corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Well, I certainly don't want to write that a bunch of times. So we're going to call it CPCTC with that southern accent I was talking to you about. We could also call it Sai Pai Sai Tai Sai. But let's not do that. Just CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, and we already did the review, so we don't need to go back. So, what this is it's a new reason. So let's write new reason. Let's highlight that so we know we added it. Make it all nice and neat. Notes are short today. This is a new reason we will provide when proving that sides, I'm going to highlight that, or angles are congruent once we know or have shown or have proved that the triangles are congruent by, here they are again, SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS. And let's put an OR right here. So we are still going to be leading our plan towards getting one of these 4 criteria needed to state that the triangles are the same, but then we're going to follow it ... with one more concluding statement. Okay, so in your proofs for this chapter, you are now either going to be proving that the triangles are congruent, which we're used to, like right up here, it said prove the triangles are congruent. On your whole last 4 worksheets, the proof has been some triangle congruent to another triangle. It's still a thing, and you're still going to need to do that. So we've been doing that with our 4. We're eventually going to add a 5th, but it's sort of a minor one, not to be too concerned about. But one of these 4, we will still, 90% of our work in this section is still going to be, we got to get that rolling. But now, okay, you might be asked to prove parts, not full triangles, but sides that aren't marked or angles that aren't marked. And we're going to be using congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. Now, me just telling you that, I need to give you an example of the 2 types of proofs now. This one over here, let's drag it down a little bit. This one over here is an old one. I screenshotted off one of your old worksheets. Look at the proof. It said prove the triangles are the same. So we would do this like we always have. We'd say, okay, we are given some angles. Got those parallel line runners. So I'm going to steal these alternate interior angles. And I've got a side right here that is shared or reflexive in my proof. So I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to say those triangles are now congruent by angle, side, angle. Okay, I knew I had to end in one of those 4 because my proof statement, drag this arrow over here, said triangles congruent. So I knew I had to end in one of those 4. That we've been practicing. Okay, so this one says, what will the last reason in each proof be? This one would have been that the triangles are congruent by angle, side smash between them, angle. The angle they marked for me, the angle I stole because of the alternate interior angle theorem, and the side between them because it was shared or reflexive. That we've been practicing. The only new thing now over here is look at the proof. It doesn't say to prove that the triangles are congruent. It says to prove that AB is congruent to BC. They look the same, but there's no mathematical reason for me to say they're the same until I grab this little guy over here, spotting the reflexive, and I go, hey, now the triangles are the same by angle, side, angle. And I'd add one more step. And I'd say, well, then side AB right here has to be the same as side CB over here. And my reason would be because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So our first task is going to be to know, is it full triangles, like on the left, or parts of triangles, just sides like this one, or just angles? And we're going to practice it tomorrow. Today is just the notes and kind of knowing that 80%, 90% of what you're going to be doing, you've already been doing. You just have to, so let's hop on this proof right here. which we actually started to fill in a couple days ago in one of my classes. So I'm going to quickly go erase all this. Sorry about that. That'd be a good question. One of my classes, I think it was first hour, I accidentally skipped ahead and we started doing this sucker. So I'm just going to quickly go erase it while you guys just chill for a second. Okay, so let's go take a look at what we need to do. First of all, I'm going to get all my little markers off of here. Okay, because none of that was given to me. I'm just going to grab all my little runners and dashes and get them out and off of my triangle. And let's begin. First of all, the very first thing I'm going to look at, what am I trying to prove? Look down here. I'm supposed to prove that this pink angle is the same as this one right here. That's not full triangles, that's parts of triangles. I immediately know my proof is going to end in corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. I made that decision because it wasn't full triangles. It was parts of triangles. Let's make everything we add bright pink. Okay, that again, I make that decision with this prove. What that means is, if I'm going to say I have congruent triangles, so those parts match up, that means I know right here above it comes one of my four. For now, I'm just going to go SSS, SAS, AAS, or ASA. I do not know, but one of those four must come. What did they give me? And I'm going to go mark it. They gave me AC and AB being the same. That was free. I'm going to go type it in. Given. I'm going to make it pink so that it stands out to me. Okay, so that was free. Let's even make it bold. Okay, I split the given into two just because it takes up too much space. So also in my next box is a given. So sometimes that's legal if you want to break it up into two pieces like that. That's certainly an okay thing to do. Now, let's go talk about what we always have. Is there anything that your brain can add to the picture? Well, first of all, I better go mark this AD bisecting side CD at C. What does that mean? Move this guy. This guy right here is the same as this guy. If AD bisects well, that was not given to me. I knew that by, and again, you should be very comfortable with, I know what that word means. Definition of bisect. So we throw it in there. And we go over here and we state just that. I said CD is congruent to BD. Remember why I could do that? Because if we bisect, we get cut into two equal pieces. Okay, you might go, LaRue, you're done. No, I'm not. I wasn't given any angles. These pink ones are what I'm trying to prove. Trying to prove those pink parts are the same. Well, right now, I'm going to go delete down here. I've got two sides. So, these are out. And now I'm gearing towards the angle smash between the sides, which wasn't given to me. It's what I'm trying to prove. Or side, side, side. And you should go, yeah, you can get that third side the same, LaRue. This side is on both of the triangles. Let's see if I can tilt that a little bit. Make three little dashes there. So right there, I can stop and I can say, oh, wait a minute. I see that shared side of AD being itself. And that's a segment. So let me copy And paste. You've been getting pretty good about putting those over the top, but make sure you continue to do so. Why can I state that? Our good old friend, the one that'll make me cry big alligator tears if you forget it, because it's in almost every proof. Now I'd say we're at about the highest level here because I'd call this level 4 in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? You not only just knew the properties, you were able to take an unmarked picture, mark it with a given. We have all the proof to fill in. We weren't plain fill in the blank, and we weren't plain select from a word bank. We were getting it all from our brain. So this is about as as difficult as it's going to get. So this is not, and it's a good 5-6 stepper here. So now I need to stop and say, hold the boat here. I've got those triangles being the same. Triangle ACD is congruent to triangle ABD by. I got some side, side, side going. So let's bold that. Okay, I'm going to check tomorrow these notes. Let's make it nice and big. Let's make it any color you want, but I'm choosing pink. I also want to make sure, because I'm only doing one of them really slow, that I put a triangle in front of there. So if you go grab your shape and go grab a little triangle, you can just squeeze it right in front of that one. You want to dump some pink paint in it, so you know you need to do that. Then Command Copy, Command Paste, let's drag it over here. And I've got those triangles being the same. Let's pink the lettering. One of them really slow, right? Now I was able to make my conclusion. Because the triangles are the same, by side, 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 which you should have been very comfortable right now with the workflow of that. We marked our given. We are given a free pair of sides. AD bisected this bottom side, so we're like, okay, I can steal those, but I have to give a reason. Our third side was shared, so we stopped. We said, those triangles there are dead ringer. They match perfectly. So not only are all the sides the same, all these unmarked parts, which are the angles in this case, are also the same by our new reason. Sai pi, sai, tai sai. Corresponding parts, in this case angles, of congruent triangles, which we proved ours are congruent. Okay, and that's it for the notes. That was your only homework for today, was to watch the Edpuzzle notes. So have a good one, and I shall see you on Thursday, and you better be well-trained monkeys.